Welcome to another interactive session with 10 counts. Today we're privileged to have Larry Olubamiwo back with us. Hello, Larry. Do you remember we spoke a couple of months back and you were really doing fine with your child? So, how's life right now?
Yeah, life is great. Tiring but great. Not getting a lot of sleep because of my son always making noise and not sleeping throughout the night. But it's the joys of fatherhood, as they say. So yeah, it's great. It's good watching him grow.
It's great to see him grow. So, and apart from that, you also have the release of Carnage. It's really coming closer. So, is it another reason that's really taking away your sleep?
Yeah, yeah. They've delayed it by another 3 weeks, I think, because of the Delta variant. So obviously they want to maximize their profits in the cinemas because a lot of films haven't done as well as they should have done, like Suicide Squad. I think there's a couple other films as well that haven't done too well because of the Delta variant. So I think they're just hedging their bets and moving it another 3 weeks. I think it comes out now on the 3rd of October in the UK and the 15th of October in the US. That's what I think is now the release date. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's the original release date was last year June. So it's almost a year and a half, past the time they were supposed to release this film. It's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. But I can't wait to see it. I'm sure you can't wait to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every,
And everyone,
I'm sure
obviously,
everyone.
the movie has got
Sorry.
the moment the trailer dropped out. I mean, I still remember people really shared their love towards the trailer. People really liked it. So, what was your family's reaction to that? Because I know the Carnage trailer really received a great appraisal from the global audience. So, what was your family's reaction?
Yeah. They were very happy, but at the same time they were quite annoyed because I am actually in the first
Yeah,
trailer, but you
absolutely.
only
Yeah.
see my back. You only see my back because after the Ravenscroft sign comes on, because I actually play one of the Ravenscroft guards. I think I can say that now. I
Yeah.
play one of the Ravenscroft guards. So as the two guards come in, I'm the lead guard. So I'm closing the door behind them. So my
We did
back
see
is to
you.
the camera. Yeah.
Uh,
So it was a little annoying, but it is what it is. So you'll get to see me properly in the film.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
still remember the last time we spoke, you said that things are really developing in the UK, depending on the outbreak of coronavirus. Things were really getting better, but the sudden outbreak of this Delta variant has taken things a bit backwards again. So, what does it?
Yeah.
How does it affect the release of Venom 2? Obviously, the release date got postponed. So, do you feel that it's going to hamper the marketing of the movie, or do you feel that it's still an top tier? It's still in the top tier slot.
I think it's still on a lot of people's minds to go and see it. I think it will still do quite well in the cinema, but I think it's not going to do as well as we thought pre-pandemic. So I think with a lot of the films now, we have to think how it would do in a pandemic. So we need to compare it to films that have been released in the pandemic as well. So I don't think that it's realistic for Venom 2, the producers and Sony, to think that Venom 2 is going to make $1 billion. It's not going to make $1 billion. It's not going to get anywhere near that, to be honest with you. If it makes $500 million, it's done really well under these circumstances. Yeah, it's a very tricky situation because although the cinemas are open in the UK, they're open in the US. I'm not sure about the current situation in China. I know some theaters are open, but I don't think all of them are. And then you got to look at the rest of the world. I don't know the situation in India, but I don't know if are the cinemas open in India now, or
Yeah, obviously it's the like this rules actually are differ from state to state. Like when you go to one state, the cinemas are open. There are certain lockdowns in certain places, so things are really in a mess right now. So yeah,
Yeah, yes.
I can understand the
It,
situation is going to be messy.
yeah, yeah. So it's really gonna hamper the box office, as it has with a lot of films already. I mean, as I said, Suicide Squad, which I've seen. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's an excellent movie. I loved it,
Yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
that
We loved it.
yeah, that didn't make nearly the amount of money it should have made. So yeah, it's a bit saddening, but at the same time, we have to understand that the situation, and I think in particular with Venom 2, they couldn't hold it back any longer. As I said, this film was supposed to come out June last year, and you know how the studios get the money to finance movies is they have to borrow the money. So you've got to understand that they're paying interest on this from the time they borrowed it. So they've been paying a whole load of interest on the money they borrowed for this film since they said they were going to release it. A whole load of extra interest. So it probably will end up probably making a loss on this film instead of a profit because of the amount of interest, which is unfortunate. Because like I said, everyone's looking forward to this film. It looks like it's going to be a really good film. I've not seen because normally the cast get to see it just before everyone else. I've not seen it yet, but hopefully we'll get a cast and crew screening. But yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to be just as good as the first one. And obviously, Andy Serkis was the director, so
Yeah,
he knows his stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, and as you said, the trailers look good. Both trailers that have come out, um, they've really hit home the relationship between Venom and Tom Hardy's character Eddie
yeah.
Brock, and also showing Carnage in all his glory. So yeah, it's really exciting, and yeah, I can't wait for everyone to see it. I can't wait to see it myself, and yeah, I'm not concerned a whole lot again about the box office because of the current situation.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I mean, obviously, it's going to be relevant to the studios and the producers and whatnot, but I think for us as fans, it's not going to be that relevant. So yeah, we'll wait and we hopefully it won't get moved again.
Yeah.
This is getting ridiculous now. So yeah, so hopefully it'll get released in October as it's supposed to be, and then we can all enjoy the film.
Absolutely. I hope the situation like gets better and we can watch the film. But like obviously the film circuit, the chain of movies, they have taken a back step in the recent pandemic outbreak. But when you look at the sport of boxing, we've recently seen some blockbusters fight happen. And last night, obviously, Manny Pacquiao, it seems that he had his last dance. So I hope you saw that fight. So what did you make of it? Like Pacquiao versus Ugas? What was on your mind?
As you know, I've trained with Pacquiao in the wild card gym a few times, and he's a lovely, lovely guy. I mean, not only is he a great boxer, but he's a really like classy human being. And it was really sad to see his deterioration somewhat. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was fighting a very good fighter in
No.
UGAS, but I would expect Manny in his prime to deal with Ugas. So it was sad seeing him deteriorate as much as he has. But at the same time, yeah, I'm glad it wasn't Errol Spence because that would have been a worse beating for him, I feel. And I think he should now take that as a sign to retire. It's just he's achieved so much in the sport. He must have made a ton of money. I don't really see why he would need to hang around in the sport at that age. There's still he wants to run for president of Philippines, which he'll probably win. So I don't really see the point in carrying on with a boxing career, which he's done so much already, and there's nothing really he can do in the boxing world anymore. I mean, he's pretty much done it all. So
Yeah.
what is there? you know, unless there's a money issue, which I hope there's not. I mean, you never know with people, you know, but I hope, because he's such a nice guy, I hope there's not a money issue there. But, you know, barring that, I think, you know, there's no need to hang around, and it's time to just give it up and move on. I mean, we all have to do it at some point, some sooner than others. But at some point we will have to move on from boxing, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, and listen, we're talking about Manny, but at the same time, we need to congratulate Ugas, because I'm quite sure he was a big underdog in that fight, and him taking the fight at late notice as well. He did very well. He did very well. So congratulations to him. And yeah, I'm interested, because I don't really know too much about Ugas, so I'll be interested to see how his career progresses after that. And just wish both of them the best, and hope that Manny makes the right decision for himself and his family. And I'm sure, you know, Freddie you know, it will guide him in the right direction. You know, yeah. What did you think about the fight?
I felt that obviously Manny Pacquiao, like coming into the fight, I felt that Manny Pacquiao is going to win. Obviously, he was preparing for Errol Spence Jr. I felt that obviously he might have been prepared well. And the initial rounds, like Manny was like, he was blazed up, he looked good, but like when as the round slipped by, Ugas really, like Ugas seemed strong. So yeah, obviously it was Ugas' night clearly. And yeah, I agree with you. If it was Errol Spence Jr., it would have been a nasty fight for Manny Pacquiao. But like, do you
Yeah.
feel that Manny Pacquiao's loss complicates the entire picture in the welterweight division? Because it seems that Ugas is now interested in fighting Errol Spence Jr. when he returns. So does it like put an end to the debate that Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. is never going to happen, because both the men haven't really shown interest in each other, and with the ongoing scenario, it even complicates the potential fight. So what do you feel?
What you mean? You mean the fight between Pacquiao and Spence?
No, yeah, I mean the fight between Pacquiao and Crawford. Like people really wanted to see that fight for ages.
Oh no, I don't see who would want to see that fight. Honestly, I never even wanted to see that fight when it first got announced, because I know Manny's past his best. His last great performance was against Thurman, and you know that was quite a while ago. And Manny's past his best. I mean, we've seen that now, like conclusively. He's past his best. There's no way at his best he would have found it hard to beat Crawford. I'm not saying he couldn't beat Crawford, but at his best he would have found it hard. Crawford is a very class fighter. So as of now, that wouldn't even be a competitive fight. I mean, the likes of Crawford, Errol Spence, he shouldn't even bother. I mean, even if he's thinking of continuing, which I really hope he doesn't, he shouldn't even think of guys like that, you know, getting in the ring. But knowing how Manny is as a competitor, he will. So this is why I'm really hoping that he quits, you know, because he will not see himself fighting, in his mind, lesser fighters. He would only fight championship fighters, guys who have belts. And you know, it's Crawford, Spence. They're just at their peak now, and Manny's on the way down, you know. So he should get out the game. I mean, I'd like to see him give that loudmouth McGregor a beating. He's still got more than enough to do that.
Yeah,
Most definitely. I'd like to, because I know they've been talking about getting that fight on,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'd love to see that, because you know, unlike Mayweather, Pacquiao won't take his time. He'll bust him up. So I would like to see that fight, but other than that, I'd just like to see Manny just give it up now and concentrate on becoming president of the Philippines, and maybe training, you know, other younger fighters, or you know, helping Freddie out, you know, that kind of stuff, and just enjoy the rest of his life, you know, because you know the boxing game and the boxing lifestyle is hard. It's hard, you know, it's hard on your body, it's hard on your family, you know, having to be away from them. It's very hard, and he's had major success, and I'm hoping that he's financially secure. He should be. So, you know, I think it's time to give it up. Yeah.
And in recent time, like obviously we have seen WBC, World Boxing Council. They have recently unveiled the India Committee to uphold the boxing in country. I am not sure whether you were aware of this or not, but WBC has recently unveiled its India Committee, and they're going to unveil the WBC India Championship. So, what do you make of this entire thing? Like, is it going to be beneficial for Indian boxing, or what kind of a move is that? Like, is it beneficial for the sport? Is it beneficial for Indian boxing? So, what do you make of it?
I I think on the one hand, I think it's great that they have a presence in India, and because Indian boxing is, especially professional boxing, is really coming up. So I think it's great that they have a presence in India. But do we need another belt? We've got enough belts as it is. So this is the this is the big problem that we have in boxing that that the UFC don't have, and the proliferation of belts just isn't helping the sport. I think they should have a base in India, 100%, and which will encourage more professional boxers from India to get up to speed, which is happening already, which is fantastic. But I tend not to agree with another belt. I think there's more than enough belts out there. And yeah, again, like I said, it's good on the one hand, but it's we just don't need another belt. Yeah,
That's a clear answer on the belt. Another question I wanted to ask, like Tommy Fury and Jake Paul, they're actually feuding. They want to fight each other. They're already promoting the fight against each other. I mean, Tommy Fury isn't even interested in his opponent. He's constantly feuding with Jake Paul. So, what do you make of the whole scenario?
yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think they just need to get it on. I think the time-old tradition of boxing, hyping up fights and having guys appear. Obviously, they've put them both on the same card because they're gonna have them fight each other, but they want to hype it up and build it up until it's it sells the maximum amount. But I think nowadays, there's no need to do that. The people who are going to watch the fight are going to watch the fight no matter how much to build it. And people who are not going to watch the fight are not going to watch the fight no matter how much build up there is. So I think they just need to get it on now. I think they just need to stop talking. I mean, they're not championship fighters. And don't get me wrong, Tommy Fury is, he's from a fighting family.
Yep.
He's a good fighter. But again, this is what I'm talking about with Jake Paul. I mean, they're treating him like he's some championship fighter when all it is really, let's be honest, it's a money grab. Same reason why Mayweather fought his brother. Money grab. Mayweather even said it. It's easy money.
Yeah, that's legal. He said something of a legal bank robbery, something like that.
Exactly. And I get it, but see, this is why a lot of people don't respect Mayweather, because at the end of the day, you've got all the money in the world. Why do you need more money?
Yep.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and this is unfortunately it's a. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against capitalism, but it's a capitalist mentality that even if I have all the money in the world, I still need more. I need more than my fair share, and it just gets annoying, and it really shows you. It ruins the sport, and it just shows you the greed of the person. Yep. Like, you've got all this money, and don't get me wrong, he also wastes a lot of money gambling. But listen, I can't judge him. That's his money. He can do whatever he wants with his money, but at the same time, do it privately. Don't be showing everyone what you're doing. But at the same time, you've got all the money in the world, and yet you want more money, and then you're cheapening the sport to make that money. And it's like he knows it and doesn't care. That's the vibe that I get when you say it's legal bank robbery. So you're basically telling me it's easy money, and that's why you took it, even though you know that it's going to be an easy fight for you. So you're cheapening the sport, but you don't really care because it's the money that matters. And this is this is when this whole YouTube thing starts to get out of hand. You know, I was really disappointed with Mayweather taking that fight. To be really honest with you, and it seems like a lot of people, including Mike Tyson, was disappointed.
Yep,
you know, so I you know, if as Mike Tyson said, if guys like Mayweather are going to do something like that, then you have to really put these guys to bed and knock them out, because they're not even, they shouldn't, you know, let's be honest, they're not even in the same, forget same league, they're not even in the same sport as you. Realistically, you know, it's
it's unfair at the end of the day. It's unfair to the fans. It's unfair to the sport.
And it's unfair to the boxers who are coming up as well, because as you know, most boxers are not earning a lot of money. In fact, a lot of boxers, like I'll give an example, a lot of boxers who are not on TV in this country are on what they call house shows, non-TV shows. And they have to sell tickets to get their fights. And if they don't sell enough tickets, they can end up paying for their opponent, but not themselves. So they end up fighting for free. So you know, and these are guys who have come up the hard way, who've had amateur careers and they're killing themselves. They're working a job and still trying to train full time. And then you got guys like these YouTubers coming up, you know, who have already got money and making more money out of the sport and making a mockery at the sport at the same time. And then you've got guys like Mayweather, who are legends of the sport, allowing them to do it. It does make a mockery of the fans, as you said, and of the boxers coming up, you know. And I think that needs to be looked at, and you know, it needs to change somewhat, you know.
So it's almost time. Thank you so much for joining with us, Larry, sharing so many things with us, and hopefully you will rejoin once again. So it has been great interacting with you. So anything you want to say to the fans who have been watching you? Anything about Venom 2? Anything about the upcoming boxers you want to say?
No, I just want to thank all the fans again, as always. You know, thank you for supporting me and sticking behind me. And I always see the comments on every time we do an interview, the lovely fans there. So thank you very much. And yeah, just want to say Catch Venom 2 should be out sometime in October. And also catch me on Instagram at Larry Olubamiwo and Twitter at Larry Olubamiwo as well. And yeah, I'd be glad to interact with everyone.
That's all for today, everyone. Thank you. Keep sticking to 10 count boxing if you really want to know about authentic boxing. And thank you. We will reconnect soon, Larry. Till then, stay safe and stay well.
You too, Raj. Take care.